Ladies and gentlemen, this picture that you see right here, and the reason why you clicked on this video is this is one of the 396 sold big block 400 4-speed 1973 Chargers. And so basically, my dad and I acquired this from a buddy of ours, Gary French. He acquired this car off of the son of the original owner, and this is a sold from Mr. Norm's Grand Spalding Dodge. So it was purchased February 26th of 1973. The owner traded in towards this car. It was a 70 Chevelle. It was a blue V8 automatic car, and so it definitely needs some work. The motor is not in the car. The motor was also taken apart, but we do have the original block and the original transmission and a bunch of little knick-knack stuff that goes towards it. As what you can see on the outside, you obviously have its power bulge hood with the 400 Magnum. It is a FE5, which is the bright red for Dodge, and for Plymouth it'd be rally red. It's got some damage from the grill, and then if you look closer to here, this on the passenger side door, tow motor hit it. We could still open up the door. The door panels and stuff on the inside is perfect. The window is perfect still as well. It's just that's the only big issue we got so far is like cosmetic and safety stuff. In this picture, I didn't actually full on close it because it's kind of a pain to open it back up, because it's like a two-person thing, because you have to hold up the lock, and then you have to open up the door on the inside, and then also try to pull on the door. But no bumper sticker. Don't know what was here, but this was obviously the Dodge Charger emblems here. It looks like it needs a little bit of work, obviously, in the quarter switch. The gold one that I have, which this one right here, it needs work on the quarter, so I mean that's not a big deal. The inner wheelhouse is like right here, needs a little bit of work. The corners of the doors are okay. The rockers are solid, surprisingly, for this this lower trim. And then here's the 400 Magnum with the bulge hood. And then this is like some like the different things that we found in the car while I was cleaning it. Some vodka bottles and a Toby Keith quote, and then Chicago Bears. Now we get into the VIN, and this is what makes this car kind of makes this car rare, and then comparing it to the Mr. Norm literature that you will see. So here's the code WH23P3G135428. If you remember this number, this is the radiator support, the 135428 with the same, which I don't understand. They switched the plant and the model year for the body numbers. And as for we didn't find the I'm almost certain where the other body number is the trunk, under the seal of the trunk, and the seal was perfect, so we didn't want to pull that and destroy the seal. I mean, yeah, we could have just glued it back on, but it's the real deal. But this is one of the two body number locations. And then here is original 400 block. We just have the block bottom end with the pistons. Trying to think. I think they said that it was taken apart and then it was bored 30 over. And then you can see it's this pickup tube is trashed, so we had to get rid of that. It was a June 1st of 72 block. And then here is the number, because here's the plant and then 135428. And then here's the 4-speed transmission, the original. And here's the same thing, the model year, the plant, and then the 135428. And then here's the fender tag. And so I'm just going to do it from the bottom to top. E68 is the 400 4-barrel, which is the HP, the high performance. Then D21 is the 4-speed. WH23 is the Charger high 2-door hardtop. P3G is the 400 4-barrel with the 73, and it's St. Louis, Missouri. And then here's the VIN, the 135428. It is FE5, which is bright red, rally red. Then you got the H6X9, which is the high option final. No, not high option. It'd just be like a trim grade high. Then you got the vinyl buckets, and then it's black interior. And then the upper door frames, they are black as well. And then the A06 is when it was made, October 6, 1972. And then you have the sequential number, and the sequential number is, you remember the 179752, that would show up on a paper of one of the direct dealer things from Mr. Norm's. It is a halo or half vinyl top, V4X, which is black, and is a USA order car. The A57 stands for the rally package. And now the rally package, you would get hood pins, the power bulge hood, rally gauge cluster, front and rear sway bars, and then I put the little asterisks. They would be standard as F70 by 14 raised white letter tires, which is the code is T87, and then longitudinal sport stripes, which is V6B, which it would be the black stripe, and that would be standard. Now there's the little asterisks, because when I will show another paper, there would be a code for T93, which is the G70 by 14, and then a V6R, which is the graduated red or the multicolor stripe. And the multicolor is only specific for, if I'm not mistaken, now don't beat me up about it, the graduated red with a multicolor is for a bright red / rally red Charger. But now I need to get back. B41 is the power front disc brakes with the drums in the rear. This in another paper, you'll see that the not power steering yet, the power brakes was a standard thing on 73, but also if it's a big block car, it's also another standard thing. But it's kind of like one of those things where it's like overlaps, where it's like the rules and regulations for the 73 model year entirely. C16 is the console, C56 the bucket seats, G36 is the left hand remote, right hand manual, painted racing mirrors. J45 is the hood tie down pins, and then basically the A57 package, and it just kind of like shows, this is what the stuff shows up here. The J45 is hood tie down pins. J52 instrument panel hood release. This was a thing that had to be standard on 1973 cars. And it's kind of like the same thing with the, it's a little sidetrack. For like, if you look at a 68 Roadrunner versus a 69 Roadrunner, the where the door lock is, it moves from the back of 68, and then it kind of moves towards the middle of the door, as like a safety. Not safety. It prevents people from breaking in easier breaking into it. I think that has a lot to do with the instrument panel hood release, so you don't have random people popping up your hood from the outside. And then the J54 is the power bulge hood or sport hood. M21 is the drip moldings. M25 is the body cell moldings. M26 is the wheel lip. M31 is the belt. And then N41 is the dual exhaust. Such as at least for 73, if it was a 4-barrel car, it would have dual exhaust. 318 2-barrel single, a 340 that would be 4-barrel. That was a dual exhaust. A 400 2-barrel single, 400 4-barrel, and you kind of get the idea. And then N42 is the bright exhaust tips, which would be the cool looking chrome shotgun tips. I think that's what people call them. The radio is R11, which is AM Music Master, and then the radiator is 28 inch diameter. I think that's what it is. And then here's the end of codes. And then this is the paper, is what I was talking about. I do have access to all these, all the literature that was given to us whenever we got the car. I went ahead, made copies, and I put the originals in a box, and they're going to stay there. And so then we'll have the copies to take to shows and stuff. Okay, so alright, so if you see the this is I think it's like a dealer spec sheet. I don't really know what to call it, but it kind of cut off here, but this up here is the 179752, which is the sequential number. See, 179752. That is the sequential number for this car. And so this paper and how it's optioned, in which the guys at Mr. Norm's place, they did this car good, because guess what? It is not an air-conditioned car, and I'm happy about that. Okay, so basically it's WH23. Some of this stuff will just overlap. V4X, which is a vinyl roof. V6R stripes. H6X9, and then here's a little check. But yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Like, if it was a 4-barrel car, it would be a dual exhaust. And this actually was kind of teaching me a few things, because I didn't know about this. But now that I'm seeing that it's a 4-barrel dual exhaust, and so yeah, it was optioned 400 4-barrel with a 4-speed. And then here's the it would have been standard, the F70s? Yeah, standard F70s, and then they optioned the G70s, which is the T93. And then you see scratched out the T87 code. And then obviously you have these packages, and then here's the rally package A57. And what's shocking is that a rally was standard 318 motor. But yeah, see, the F70 tires, that was standard, or I guess standard equipment, same thing. Must code T87. And then where is the black body side tape stripe. It would have been a black tape if it was just standard. And I'm so glad they did not check this box. It is a D56, which is the 355, and then the option for sure grip, obviously because it's a 4-speed car. The bumper guards, these were standard equipment on 73 because they were the big bumperettes that can take a 5-mile-per-hour impact. And then it was optioned for a console because bucket seats. Now this is kind of weird, and why I kind of was a little odd to me. They optioned a 4-speed car, but they didn't option in for a tachometer, in which I'll get to that later whenever I talk about the plans for the car. So we got the rear window defogger, and then the hood release on the inside. That had to be a thing on 73 cars. And then here's the dual painted G36. Then the power steering. This is also something I learned new. You were required to have power steering for big block motors in 1973. Same thing with the power brakes. Power brakes and power steering, it was required for a high, I guess you would say a high performance motor, like a 340, 400, or 440. And then just a standard radio AM. And then same thing, I kind of already knew this, but if you were optioned a tough steering wheel, you had to have power steering as well, because the steering wheel is actually a little bit smaller than the standard size. It was smaller, and also the you had a little spacer piece. And okay, never mind. It's the one I have. It's outside. Yeah, that I don't understand why they didn't option this for a tachometer. Which maybe it would have been like a dealer option to get a like a drop down tach or something. And then the road wheels, which is the Magnum wheels, chrome style 14-inch. I can't tell if this was the invoice or not, but to seal the deal, that is a Mr. Norm car, paid for by Chrysler Corp, shipped to Grand Spalding Dodge, the West Grand Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Sold to Grand Spalding Dodge, Mr. Norm's dealership right here. Most of the options will be like overlapping between the fender tag, the direct dealer paper, and then also I just scrolled down on this thing, the advanced dealer shipping notice and an invoice. The only things that is different is the new codes is a Y41 manufacturer's statement of origin. Has nothing, in a way, it has nothing really to do about the car, but it does because it's literature about the car. Y43, which is the reimbursable dealer pre-delivery, and then Y97, which is the gasoline. If I'm not mistaken, how much fuel is shipped in said car, and which I actually found an error on Galen Govier's book, in both the 98 and the 2009 revisions. The Y96 code in the book says 10 gallon, where the Y97 is 3 gallon. But here on the paper, where's my cursor? On the paper it says Y97 gasoline 10 gallons. I don't know if anybody is gonna revise these books, and I don't know if there's other people that came up with or found some more errors, but this is the one error I found. And the reason why I'm thinking that it's an error in the book is because both the invoice and the advance dealer shipping notice says the same thing. It says the same thing, Y97, gasoline 10 gallons, which shows on both. And then here is I actually printed both sides of the note card, where it says hood release, bumper guards, the rally stripe, red, road wheels, and then the date, and then the little check boxes. Nothing too fancy or special, but it's like this is the same thing as for what you see on the previous couple pictures. Now for the build sheets. So we recovered 2 build sheets, one under the driver bucket, and then one under the back bench. Asterisks. The one under the driver bucket is for the car. The one under the rear bench, I'm going to say is not for the car, because if you see the build sheet says RP23, where R stands for Satellite Roadrunner, and that automatically just kind of throws it out. That's not even for this car. So you can do this, and there's that, and then also, where is the heater AC? Here it is. The option H51 would have been the code here, because the front heat for the AC, and this car does not have AC. So we did, which I think do that. If you see on the left side of the left picture is the recovered, and I made copies of this. That's the build sheet out of the back bench, which is not for the Charger. Now, however, the one on the right side, that is for the car. And here is a picture that we got out of it, which is kind of ineligible, but the sequence number, you can't see it, but I can't remember what else that there was one of these codes that I was able to pinpoint to the car, which I'm pretty sure it was. I'm thinking it had to be something with the carburetor, and we'll get to the carburetor here soon. But and then here's another picture of the door, which is the WH23 P3G135428. Date of manufacturer 10 of 72. As for the paint, it has been repainted. The stripe is not the correct stripe. This is a gold stripe. It's supposed to be the graduated red, which shit, we're not to that part yet. But as you can see, there's the wheel lip moldings, the belt moldings here, drip rail, and I can't remember what this one is. I think that's what molding's at. I think it's the body. Yeah, the body seal moldings. Yeah, this body seal, belt, drip, wheel lip. The Magnum 500 wheels. Now for the interior, it is the black buckets. It's got the wood grain panels. So it's like the high grade. As you can see, there's the day-night mirror that is showed in one of the invoice paper. The half vinyl top. Then you got obviously the bulge hood with the 400 Magnum cutout. obviously here's the hood pins. This is the correct, zoom in, since this is the correct one with the original cable. The original cable on this side was snapped off. And here's the rally gauge cluster, 150 speedo with the split oil pressure and gasoline, alternator and temperature, and then somebody put a correct Mopar radio, because this is AM FM, where the original was just AM. And this is one of the things that we're going to come back to, is I'm going to attempt to we have another gauge cluster that has a clock, and then moves these gauges over here as the split, and then I'm going to see if I can put a factory tack back in this. Obviously it's going to be a reproduction tack, because I'm not spending $1,000 for a full gauge cluster. I'll just take the one with the clock, pull the clock out, and then we'll see what I can do, which I have yet to even go that far. Here's the 8 3/4, which I couldn't tell if this was a tag or not. I didn't really get under the car, but this is a sure grip, and it is a 355, because when we had the wheels off, we were kind of checking to see how many rotations it had compared to the wheels. But then here is the rear sway bar. It's kind of unique of how they did this. It's like they put the sway bar bracket pieces in between the axle and the leaf spring, which it's kind of cool. It's very unique to I guess the rally cars. Oh, here it is. This is what the stripe is supposed to look like. It's called the graduated red or the multicolor. I took this picture. It was somebody selling a Yuko charger. It looks almost the exact same. But all right. Now here's the tires. The standard F70s, which would have been comparable to like a radial 215/70, versus a G70, which is just a little bit more of it was a pistol grip 4-speed console. You see the 3 pedals along with the little piece for the rear window defogger. Oh yeah, here's the exhaust tips of what it's supposed to look like. Don't mind my hands. Rear window defogger. And so this, so for the radio, I think there would have been, if I'm not mistaken, one in the dash, and then just this one speaker right here. Because basically the speaker cut out here would have been for where your defogger was sitting. And I guess defogger blower. And then there's that. Yeah, I like how they left it in, because all they did was just disconnect the one of the wires, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the wire goes up to here, and then there's like little piece that was unplugged. But all they did was just leave it hanging there by a screw, and they put I'm thinking that is like a 5x5 round speaker that they just put there, which it's kind of funny. But I mean, you had to do what you had to do. And then here, I'm pretty sure this is the original 6x9 speaker. That was originally with the car. And then here is, oh yeah, here it is. Minimum tire size, G70 14s. So here's the engine bay. The one thing that really confused my father and I was the way the inner fenders are. And I think this has something to do with like the clearancing of either the manifolds or something along the lines, because if I'm not mistaken, these cars were the body drop system, to where the front subframe would kind of go up in, and that's how they put the motors and stuff in the cars. The passenger side has this, the fender was cut out, and it has this, like a rubber piece to it, I guess rubber guard, and this ain't no hodgepodge. Somebody cut this out with a hacksaw and just put something. This is factory. And come to find out, this is factory on your big block cars. Comparing it to the gold Charger that I have, it is a 318, and as you can see, the inner fender still has the same plate as this side. And then under the hood, you obviously see the 400 emission information sticker. And then there's some work we gotta do to the inner fenders, but other than that, it's not too bad. Definitely gonna have to fix this. And then I took the fender tag off that night, and I have it. So that's why it's currently not showing up there. Here we'll go through some of the original things we still have access to, or we still got from the car whenever we received it. We got the pistol grip with the linkage. If I'm not, I have yet to look at the distributor, but I'm not sure if this is the original or not. I need to go look at the numbers on it. A old Chrysler tack. I think there's really nothing else to see about the car. Oh, and then here's the trunk of the car. It was full of parts, and so I went ahead and took a day and cleaned it out. But I sent the video to my dad, and I was making a joke. I was like, most of the Chargers, you can't stand in the trunk because you'll just fall through. But yeah, even though it looks bad over on this angle or on this side, but other than that, it's freaking solid as can be. The only thing we really would have to do is like the seal stuff. When I was cleaning it, it kind of broke loose, and so I think, would it be a seam sealer? I think. Don't beat me up about that. So here's the jack sticker, which since it was kind of falling off, we pulled it, and then now it's in a little baggie, and then we might actually laminate it, and then we'll have it with the car. As for some more parts besides the pistol grip, with the links for the transmission, we have a set of valve covers. We might use them on the car. We might not use them on the car because I might have to find a nicer set, because this is kind of really pitted. Brand new water pump, the spark plug shields for the manifolds. This oil pan is not the correct one, because the correct one we need to have for, I guess, the 73 is has the number 971. This is, I think, $6.99 on here. Timing cover, kind of just small little knick-knack stuff. But yeah, here's a 28-inch radiator.
Radiator.
Yeah, radiator. Jeez, always. This is actually for the code is for a 318 car, not the big block which I think I'll have the codes up on the screen soon. And then here's the drive shaft for it. Okay. So we don't have the correct water pump housing, but this will be for the full-on Mopar guru fanatics of looking up everything and doing it by the book. Most likely, we have an extra couple water pump housings, in which they're within like I'm gonna probably say late 60s, early 70s. It is not the correct 73, but that'll be okay. Nobody is really going to look at it like that in depth. As for the radiator, the one was like a 28-inch. I think it was this one or something. It was one of the ones that was for a 318 car. Now bear with me, I have no idea, but if we do find a correct radiator for it, it would either be this one, because it has to be, I mean, it doesn't really have to be, but trying to get it correct for the both in the heater M51 or the less intermediate cooling, because this is the only ones I can think of that would work for both manual or with like a heater, because I can easily do this one, but it's not correct because it would be automatic AC, and then that wouldn't work. So these two, I kind of came to figuring it out that these two would probably be like the better candidates. Now these are the battery caps, and I'm not sure how these are, but I don't know if it has something to do with it being a late 72, early 73 car, but they would have the yellow caps, or if it's like a mid 73 or something, whether they go for the yellow caps or the green caps. I don't know. We don't have the original battery, so I couldn't tell you. But most likely, since it was a 72 car made for a 73 model year, I think the yellow caps would be the best way. And this is, I think this is the distributor. Yeah, I need to look this up, because this would be the correct one if we did have it, because it'd be 400 for HP high performance manual B body. Oil pan. Oh yeah, see, this is the one we got. 699, 72, 73, C 400. And then with the 971, which would be 73, 74, B 400, 440. That's the correct oil pan we need. Cylinder heads. We have a set of the open chamber 208174 cylinder heads. We could go for the 20816's closed chamber ones, or find a set that somebody has opened up the exhaust valve a little bit more, or it's just probably going to be rare as can be, the early 61, 62 closed chamber heads where they were 208-174s, and I'm not even going to think about trying to go for the early like stage 1, stage 2 motors, because I'm going to probably say these cylinder heads in themselves are like stupidly rare because of the max wedge cars from 62, 63, and 64 for like the street use. I looked up in the 1972 to 74 hypo manifolds will work. I guess would look period correct because they didn't really change them besides the numbers. But if we manage to find a set of the correct 73 hypos, that would be awesome. I can live with a 72 or 74. It really doesn't matter because they look the same. As for okay, here we go. The intake manifold we do not have, and the carburetor we do not have. One side I'm happy that we do not have this, and the other side is kind of bummed because it's not original. I'm happy because it's a thermoquad. But yeah, there was one specific intake manifold for the Big Block 400, and then here is the correct carburetor that is supposed to have manual, and then 8 HP with high performance, and then you would have your model numbers, which obviously the W is there. Nothing against the thermoquads, but all the luck is just non-existent for my father and I, and that's another can of worms to open on a later date. So, it's the plans is to I just took an example from Google, but build the motor, paint it the correct color, put an aluminum intake on it, because since it's from Mr. Norm's, I mean, what's the one thing to make it look aftermarket or like not stock, blah, is you put aluminum intake manifold on it. Aluminum intake, and then we'll probably put a Edelbrock carburetor on it, because it's not going to be a full-on race motor, but it would still look original, but the intake manifold would be the aluminum. And then as for the air cleaner, oh wait, hold on, before we get to the air cleaner, here's the 73 open chamber heads we have. They were rebuilt, and as you can see, they were left in nature. I mean, they're still not bad. I mean, they just need a little bit of cleaning up. But yeah, we'd pop the valves out, and then we'd take it to a guy that would sandblast. But yeah, I'm almost trying to see if we can find a set of closed chamber heads, because you would have more compression. I mean, it's really not like that big of a deal, but I just kind of I'm thinking you have more oil pressure with the closed chamber than you do with the open chamber, but bear with me here. But yeah, these would be the correct ones for it. Correct code, the 73 with the 208 and then the 174. Air cleaner. For the people that know what the 1973 with like the big block motors, they're supposed to be Chrysler blue. The air cleaner is supposed to be orange. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the orange air cleaner. We'd either do a chrome one like this with the 400 sticker, a black one just blacked out like this with the 400 sticker, or this will cost an arm and a leg, but get the 340 air cleaner from 7071. It just looks more cleaner. God damn it, that pun. It looks better than the orange one does, and then also it would still look period correct, because 70, 71, and then 72, 73, they went to the freaking snorkel style. But it would the motor would look something like this with the stock valve covers but it would have an aluminum intake with an Edelbrock carburetor, not a thermoquad, not the original one. And so it would look, I think it would just kind of match the aesthetic because it was from Mr. Norm's. That's the only reason why I would go this route versus the full-on stock route. I just made this video just to show that this car still exists. The one of the 396. Like, it's nothing special, but it's special to me because there's a little bit of history behind it, along with the Mr. Norm thing is just a bonus. It is like my dream car, a big block, 4-speed Charger. And it didn't matter which generation, whether it was the first generation, second or third. This is like the dream right here. So yeah, I just wanted to make this to show that this car still exists, and with what it is and how lucky we are to have access to some of the core original stuff, like the block, the transmission. It's like one of those things. So if you guys made it this far into the video, there's a little bit of a small story about this car. Now we're taking this from the son of the original owner. He was planning it one day, and he decided to push in the cigarette lighter, and when it popped out, he pulled it and he started poking it on things. The biggest one is up here, and I'm gonna believe him and say that there was a Mr. Norm sticker somewhere on the dash, because he did burn a hole through the sticker, because there's a spot here and then a spot here, and then down here on the console. Unfortunately, the picture I took, it's kind of covering it, but there's, I think, 2 or 3 spots here, and then there's another spot on the shift boot. And let's just say, yeah, he got in trouble. and I'm almost thinking, now this is just like me guessing, that the reason why the back seat looks so good is because he probably got his ass beat, because he did this to the car. And that's also another thing. I watched Uncle Tony and naming his newly acquired Cuda Scribbles the Cuda, because some young he or she decided to scribble in between the gauges, and that's why that Cuda is called Scribbles the Cuda. And you say, like, hopefully the next person that has that car will just kind of look at that and smile. It's like it gives the car character. This gives the car character. Like, I'm not gonna get rid of this. Like, this is gonna stay. The car is like, if I even decide to completely restore the car, the little burn marks, it's gonna stay. So that's just like a little small thing, but yeah. Thank you for watching. I just kind of put this on here because this car exists, and most people see these cars and they're only just like posted one picture on like Facebook or something, and then everybody is just going crazy and like, what makes this car so special or something. So here we go. This is the video. 1973 Dodge Charger 400 4-barrel 4-speed, sold out of Mr. Norm's dealership. Alright, I'm done with the video.